Case Analysis Part 1, The Big Picture. Hey, my name is Brad, and over the following 6 video lectures, I'm going to provide a framework I'd like you to use whenever you find yourself in a situation of making decisions in situations of ambiguity, uncertainty, and risk. In this course, you're going to apply this framework to cases I give you in class, but I think this is an excellent framework that you can apply to many areas of your life. Alright, so to start, imagine the following scene. You're out with your boyfriend or girlfriend. It's a beautiful night. You're walking on the beach. Suddenly, they drop down on their knee. They whip out a ring, and they ask you the big question. Will you marry me? Immediately, you're put in a situation where you have to make a huge decision. If you make the right decision, your life's gonna be awesome. But make the wrong decision, and your life will be miserable. Obviously, you want to make the decision that'll make your life awesome. The problem is, you don't know with certainty which choice that is. Should you say yes or should you say no? In fact, you won't know which choice will make your life awesome until after you've made the decision. You wait like 10 years and then look around to see if your life is ruined. In other words, you need to make a decision today that will impact your future life, without knowing for sure what impact each choice is going to have. Frequently in life, we're called upon to make these types of decisions. The situation is ambiguous, uncertain, and risky. We don't know. No one knows what the right choice is, but we still must make a choice. For a business person, these moments can be terrifying. The future success of your company is dependent on what you choose to do next, but you don't know with certainty what the right choice is. So how do we make a decision in these types of situations? Well, the framework this video series presents will give you tools to help you navigate these types of situations where you need to make a decision under conditions of ambiguity, uncertainty, and risk. This is the first video in the series, and it will give a brief overview of how I want you to approach case analysis, introduce you to some grading criteria, and will give you a flavor of what each section in your final report is about. We'll get into more details on these elements in later lectures in this series. Alright, so to start, think of your case analysis as a chain of logic. The purpose of this entire process is to identify critical issues facing the company and then to provide realistic recommendations to resolve those critical issues. To achieve this, each section is connected and, like a chain, your analysis can only be as strong as your weakest link. There are 4 main links in your chain. The first is your critical issues and your situation analysis. Next comes your decision criteria, then your option analysis, and finally your recommendations. You remember that links in a chain analogy I just used? Here's where it's important. If any of the links in your chain, if any of the sections in your report are not completed satisfactorily, then the entire report fails to meet its objective. It doesn't matter how blow your mind amazing your other sections are. If one is done poorly, it will sink your entire report. And here's why. What you're trying to do in your analysis is convince a business owner to accept your recommendations. That's your goal, and your grade is based on your ability to do this. You are not trying to impress a teacher. You are convincing a business owner to put the survival of their business in the hands of your recommendations. If all the links in your chain are strong, then you've put the business owner in a position where they can accept your recommendations. If, however, one of the links in your chain is weak, then your chain of logic falls apart, and they're not going to believe you. Your report will fail to achieve its objectives. So, it is time to think like a real business person. And over the duration of this course, in this series of videos, I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's look at each link in the chain first and get a broad overview of each link's role. With your critical issues and situation analysis, you are demonstrating that you understand what the major issues facing the company are. Now think about that. If you don't know what the critical issues are, then how is anyone supposed to have confidence in your solution? If you don't understand the critical issues, you can't help anyone. In your decision criteria, you're showing the performance metrics the company must achieve to show it has addressed the critical issues. It's your way of knowing what success looks like. Now, if you don't know what success looks like, how can you ever hope to achieve it? No one will have faith in your solutions. You must then evaluate each option in your option analysis, providing reasonable answers to the questions business people want to know. If you do not answer the questions business people want to know about with each and every option, or if your evaluation is not realistic, no one's going to accept your recommendations. And finally, your recommendations, they must credibly address the critical issues as shown by how well they meet your decision criteria. Your recommendations must be supported by your option analysis. If your recommendations don't address the critical issues or are not supported by credible analysis, then you fail to solve the company's critical issues. Alright, so that gives you an overview of the different links in the chain of your case analysis. The following videos in this series will look at each link in the chain individually and give you some details of how to do well.